Alright, video number 3 I think. Welcome back to the channel. Continuing where I left off from the last video. Today we're gonna be dropping the fuel tank to replace the fuel pump in hopes to get this thing started. Also in preparation to do my 3S swap. So I'll be pulling out whatever fuel pump, most likely an OEM factory fuel pump for the 5SFE. Anyhow, I'll be installing a Walbro 255, which would be an upgrade, slight upgrade to the OEM to support the 3S GT and whatever mods I plan to have. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first thing, I am disconnecting this fuel pump connection. There's two connectors because then I will be when I drop the fuel tank, I don't want to yank on the cable, so I'm going to be just shoving these cables through to the other side like so. Right, and then the second one, there you go. So now I could go under the car, remove the body undercover panels, and then disconnect all the fuel lines at the engine bay near the firewall. Alright, so I am unbolting the undercover panels, and God, this is what I see. It's not the most nasty things, but I'm hoping this is the worst that I'm gonna see. But just a bunch of snail shell or something, some sort. But yeah, I know this car might have had some rat rodent issue because I see rodent repellent stuff in the trunk and stuff, and I did see a couple, not a whole lot, but some rodent poop I believe in the trunk. But again, I deep clean everything that I could touch and I could see. So but yeah, just wanted to show you guys this. Alright, so the under panel is off for the most part. I can't get to that corner over there, or I didn't try hard enough, I guess. But that'll do for now. So I'm gonna go to the engine bay and undo a couple of the fuel line. So let me show you guys. So I kind of already did. So I'm undoing this clamp, a couple of those, this guy, and two bolts here, one bolt, one nut actually, and then disconnect. I'm gonna disconnect this. So that right there, I have a 19mm and a vice grip here. I have a vice grip here because the 14 I pretty much stripped because I didn't know to use a flare nut wrench before I kind of used a regular open-ended 14mm wrench and rounded the nut slightly. So by the time I got a flare nut wrench, it was too late, I guess. So let me show you, where's my flare nut wrench? This guy right here. So this is a flare nut wrench, size 14, so it no longer grab. So I tried the vice grip, that didn't work as well. So now I'm going to chase that line back to the filter. So I'm going to unbolt a couple bracket that holds the line and then detach the hose from the bottom of the filter. That is a easier way, but with a longer bundle of line attached to the fuel tank. But that is a much easier route, so I'm happy to do that instead. At least where the situation I'm at right now, it's a better option, I guess. So I'm gonna do that right now, undo all the lines here, and go underneath and undo the line at the bottom of the filter. So let's do it. Okay, so I'm here at the bottom of the car. So this is the fuel filter. I'm gonna disconnect that on the bottom of it, and then whichever bracket, I think these two 10mm right there, unbolt that. That should loosen up this whole section of the fuel line. Maybe I have to undo this one too because it's kind of in the way. So I have most of the line on top detached, but then it's so old that they're kind of stuck. So I think I'm gonna start dropping the tank and hopefully use the tank as it drops. It's gonna pull against the line and without damaging it, of course. giving me a little help to pull the lines off of the tube and stuff. So alright, so this guy right here, this is the bottom of the fuel filter, so I need to disconnect this connection. Got it.
That's what holds the fuel?
Yeah. Well, once I Alright, so let's see what it looks like inside. Probably, hopefully not too crusty or rusty. Alright, okay. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh no. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expect. Yep, I'm surprised if it works. And not, and in this case, probably it doesn't, and probably why the car is not starting. So it's got a good amount of fuel in there, so probably don't want to use it. So let's probably drain it and put some new ones in there, replace that thing, and hopefully it fires up. Alright, so here is the tank before I clean it. So I'm gonna pour some white vinegar and soak over 24 hours, and then put some baking soda in there, and then power wash, pressure wash the whole tank, and hopefully I end up with a less rusty tank. Figured I'd do this while I have the tank out, so wish me luck. So 5 gallons of white vinegar, and fill the rest with water. Oh, you can see through now. Okay, there you go. You can see it looks a little much less brown. Hopefully when I pour it out and then rinse it with baking soda, and then we'll see a much cleaner inside of the tank, so we could start fresh with some brand new gas, and then hopefully we'll fire that up. So I just picked up this Vivor ultrasonic cleaner. So I just poured in some green stuff, and just gonna dump these on this guy too. And then I thought about when I tried starting the car, I turned the key, and I remember the fuel level never goes up or down. If the fuel pump is all rusty looking, what are the chances that the sending unit is the same condition? So sure enough, it's really rusty, so I'm glad I checked. All the wires seems to still connected, unlike the fuel pump, it corroded to the point where it's the rust preventing the swing, which is what indicate the fuel level. So let's see how well we can clean this up. They look pretty clean to me, but I know these are actually clean now. Whatever that is left is probably just you know, at least when I touch it, it won't come off for sure. So I'm happy with it. I'm gonna throw in other things that is actually more greasy and see how well it cleans up. Alright, so hopefully this cleans up. Alright, so it's been 2 days, so if you can't hear me, I'm wearing a mask. It's been a day and a half actually. So I'm gonna rinse this out with the pressure washer, and then I will come back with some baking soda right away with the neutralized vinegar so it doesn't start rusting again. And then I'll let it dry and put everything back and put the whole tank back in, and hopefully it fires up. Okay, so I just drained the water. So this is what it looks like right now after soaking it in vinegar. Doesn't look like much, so hopefully after I pressure wash it, it'll look even better. So here we go. Alright, so the tank is now filled with baking soda, letting it soak for a little bit. To be honest, the de-rusting didn't work as well as I thought. Maybe I need to scrub it, but the shape of the tank and, you know, how there's only 2 ports open, I can't really get in any tools or my hand in there, so can't really do any scrubbing. And there was no heat added, unlike this ultrasonic cleaner. So I guess it is what it is. Hopefully I can rinse everything out, because now that the rust is kind of like loose, and it's kind of worse because before it was stuck there, so it's not really doing anything. But now that it's loose, it's gonna come off. So hopefully I get as much out as I can. Otherwise I'm gonna clog the filter, clog the injectors and fuel rail and all that stuff. And also remember, I cleaned the sending unit, so I plugged it in just to test it for now. So look, my fuel gauge going up. It's got my braided fuel line from Summit Racing. Russell's the brand. So this is to replace this hose right here, which I found slightly cracked at the end, so get it replaced. So you got a 6 feet long, cut it however long I need it. So alright, so I think it is time to put the fuel tank back into the car and attempt to fire it up. So I'm gonna put everything back on the tank, and then I'm gonna put the tank back into the car. So and all new gaskets and stuff. So Toyota OEM gaskets. So let's go. It's kind of funny, but I'm gonna go from discharging or uncharging my EV to going to the gas station to pick up some gas for my gas car. So let's go. It's the next day here. As you saw in the earlier clip, I got to start the car last night. I buttoned up everything and on the bottom, on the under panel. Now I'm about to test fit these wheels on that car. Not that I'm gonna run them, I'm just curious on how it would look. So I currently have like a 50mm spacer on from the previous owner, and these are 19 by 10 plus 22. So actually it might be too wide, but you know, with the non-stretch tire, that is what it is. But I mean, I'm not gonna be running these, so that's not a concern. But yeah, so let's get back to getting this thing on the ground. Alright, so my wireless mic isn't working right now, but I'm about to start the car and run it on its own for the first time under my ownership. I've had this car for about 2 weeks now, maybe 3, but it seems like it's been months because I've been putting in a lot of work. So excited to see it run, also nervous as well. I'm going to be moving it in the garage, so let's go. So I managed to drive it off the block. I hear some humming. I think that might be just the fuel pump. So alright, so that about does it for this video. Now that I have the car running, in the next video I'll be focusing on the body work. I'm going to be installing some OEM style fog lights, a bunch of LED mods including the gauge cluster, which I'm actually really excited for. I'm also going to be attempting to remove the window tint and getting the rip on the driver's seat repaired. Actually, my in-law is going to help me with that. Basically just cleaning things up and getting the car ready to get wrapped. I could tell you right now I'm sitting in the car that is already wrapped, so a bunch of work has already been done. This is shot maybe 3 weeks after I got the car started, so stay tuned. I have a lot more coming, but that'll be in the future video. So thanks again for watching, and subscribe if you haven't, especially if you want to follow along with this rebuild restoration journey. So yeah, thanks again. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.